All right, guys, thanks so much for joining another mini episode of CX Chronicles podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Brady-Chizana. Super pumped for today, guys. We're here now, day 2 at Customer Contact Week in Las Vegas. Sharath, say hello to the CX Nation, my friend.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sharath, Keshava, Narayana. It's a pleasure to be here.
So, guys, we were number one. Yesterday just was filled with all sorts of awesome events, all sorts of action. There is so many incredible companies and partners and providers here. Just tribal knowledge, man. There's a ton of information and a ton of knowledge that's buzzing around the space. We bumped into Sharath's team yesterday at Sonis, and we are pumped to have him on the show today to talk a little bit about the business. Why don't you start off today, Sharath? First of all, before we even get into Sonis, I want to talk about your background a little bit. Can you spend just a few minutes kind of talking about how are you here today? How did you end up in this whole space? What were some of the stepping stones, or what were some of the early businesses or the early things that you did as you became a customer-focused business leader?
Perfect. So again, I'm Sharath Keshava Narayana, born and raised in India, moved here many years ago, and then started a company called Observe.AI. That's how I bumped
One of the big ones here, right?
Yeah. So this was 2017. We accidentally ended up in the CX space. We initially built Observe.AI to what could have been what Gong is today.
Yeah, sure.
Building products for salespeople.
Yep.
But then I had spent some time in Manila, and I'm like, hey, why do we build this for sales? Why not build it for support? Because there are like 16 million call center agents.
Yep.
That's how my journey started, and that's how I accidentally bumped up into this whole CX space.
That's amazing.
And then as I was building Observe, one of the things that we were doing at Observe is we were trying to help agents what to say during a call.
Yep.
And then when I was meeting CX leaders, they were saying, Sharath, Observe is great. They help you provide information in real time, guidance in real time.
Yep.
But it doesn't change how they say it.
Yeah. Right.
And that one comment stuck to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so for this, I need to do something in real time. And I was looking for things.
Yeah.
And then luckily for me, I took an exit from Observe in the good old days of 2021 when money was flowing like liquid oxygen. And I lucked out, I would say. Yeah. And then I started this small fund called Karya Venture Partners.
Very cool. Very cool.
My own fund. The goal was to invest in young entrepreneurs. It was for me a way to give back to the community.
That's fantastic, man.
And I used to write first checks on ideas.
Nice.
And one of the first checks I wrote was to this 2 young founders. One was 19 and one was 21 from Stanford.
Okay.
Max and Sean. And they were talking about, hey, we are building this real-time speech-to-speech synthesis algorithm. And then I'm like, okay, this is probably what can help me with call center agents to help them change how they say it.
Yep.
So I ended up becoming the first investor for Sonis.
That's fantastic.
And then, in the last, I would say, after I invested, got to spend a lot of time with them, and they're like, hey, we have to drop out of college and to do this company. And I need to tell my parents that I'm doing something big.
Yeah, right.
And they'll not believe me until I tell them I do it with Sharath.
Yeah, right.
So, and then we 3 got together and founded Sonis.
That's fantastic.
And it's been, a 4-year wild ride.
That's fantastic. So just out of curiosity, Sonis, where are you guys building the business today? Where is kind of home base for you folks?
Home base is right next to Stanford in Palo Alto, California.
Fantastic. So first things first, number one, thank you for sharing that. But you're right. You think about all of the incredible technology or all the incredible providers or all the incredible solutions that are out on the floor right now at CCW. It doesn't, man, not disparaging at all the technology and just the genuine time and commitment and investment and energy that had to go into building all this stuff. But you thought about something really interesting, which is even with all those different solutions, there's still some of these caveats of how the hell are you going to help a customer get a little bit better of an experience? And then most importantly, how are you going to help an employee get their experience a little bit better so that they can serve that customer better? So you kind of found that $1 billion thing that everyone on them out there is trying to help with, but you're really bringing an immediate fix and an immediate cost to the game that so many of us deal with every single day dealing with our customers.
Yeah, with Sonis, right, was obviously it was an incredible business opportunity, but most importantly, right, I think when you work with all these agents, most contact centers have done a great job in taking care of agents' mental health. They take care of their people really well, but just the bias is so apparent.
Yeah.
No matter how much people, almost everybody in the US knows that when they call a call center, basically is outsourced to somewhere
Yeah,
in some part
totally.
of the world.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
know it,
yeah.
but still they don't like it.
Yeah, right.
Right? And the poor person on the other side, they're like, hey, we're just doing this as a job.
Totally, it's our job,
Right?
yeah.
And why are you upset that you're talking to me?
Yep, yep.
Like, I'm here to solve your problem.
Yep.
And let's just get done with it.
Yeah,
So that
yep.
you can move on with your life and I can move on to my next call.
Absolutely, yep.
But that bias is there.
Yeah, yeah.
It never goes away. And like a lot of people told us when we built Sanas that, hey, why are you building Sanas? People should be accepting of what's around us.
Yep.
And there should not be a technology like this that should exist. I'm like, tell me how many years call centers have been around?
Yeah.
3 decades?
Yeah, right.
And abuse has been around for 3 decades also.
Yeah, right.
Right? When you talk to those agents, and we told them that, hey, we are building this product as a product of choice.
Yeah.
It's a simple toggle button. The
Yeah.
agents can enable or disable
Awesome.
their choice.
Awesome.
30,000 people use the product today.
Fantastic.
Not even one person has disabled Sanas.
Wow. Wow, that's incredibly impressive. Incredibly impressive. So Sharath, can you spend a couple of minutes kind of talking about the early team that you've built at Sanas? And I know that you're helping all of these different frontline customer-facing staff members and agents across the world, but I'd like to know a little bit about your team. When you guys started to build the company, you knew that there was this need, you knew that there was this big thing that you could help on both the CX and the EX side. How did you, and you've built many businesses now, and now you're starting to invest in these businesses. How did you guys kind of build that initial team out of Sanas? What were some of the core focus areas or some of the primary bets and investments that you knew you needed to make to be able to get the business off the ground and to be able to even get in a position where you could eventually serve 30,000 people using your product every single day?
I think 3 components were very important. I think one of the things was we needed people with deep background in speech and machine learning.
Awesome.
Luckily, being at the backyard of Stanford, that was easy.
You probably have a lot of smart people walking around there that could help with that problem, right?
A lot of them. So I think we initially built a very strong research and speech scientist team. The second component we wanted was, hey, if we have to build a product for contact centers, you need people from that industry, right? So brought on board a bunch of CX leaders who've kind of running BPO businesses.
Awesome.
One such person was Marty.
Yep.
He used to run a large collections company. We're like, hey, we need to bring these people on board because all these products has to be built with a level of empathy.
Yep.
So that agents can make use of it. Because adoption is a big challenge.
Totally.
With most products.
Absolutely.
Right? And the only way you can bring out adoption is to bring people from this industry who know what to build and how.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And the third component was to bring some design partners early on.
Awesome.
I think being a part of this industry, I think we got some 5-6 very early design partners, like large companies like Alarica, mid-sized companies like Everrise.
Oh, nice.
Right? Fusion CX,
Yep.
a small enterprise like Trajector, who wanted to outsource, right? So we were incredibly lucky to get some early design partners, and we told them that, hey, this won't be perfect on day one, but we'll work with you for the next 12 months. And make you guys early adopters of a technology like this. So we were incredibly lucky that way.
I love it. I mean, so number one, just talk about one of the easiest ways that you can expedite velocity for any business, any product, any service. You start to bring a bunch of experts and SMEs together who know the space, they know the industry, they know the ins, the outs, the challenges, the struggles, all the good and the bad and the ugly, as I like to say. That's a game changer. But you're building with such a different level of intimacy. You already know what the end user issues are. You already also, with you guys, with some of the collective background, you kind of know what different executive teams are willing to bet in and what they're not willing to bet in. And then you probably know a little bit better than some of the other folks how to show what potential ROI might look like if you're able to impact speech, if you're able to impact the EX side, the CX side at the same time. That's pretty awesome, man. It's pretty incredible stuff.
Oh, thank you. And again, we've been like incredibly fortunate. Right? I think from the day we presented this idea, I think one of the first customers told us that, hey, this is probably the first GDP shifting product that we've seen. And they were telling me that, hey, Sharath, 20 years ago, about 1 million jobs from India moved to the Philippines.
Wow, yeah.
And the call center market was created in the Philippines because people couldn't understand Indian accent.
Yeah, right.
But you have probably the most incredible talent pool in India.
Yep.
But you cannot change how they speak.
Yeah, yep.
Right? Now, I think I've seen so many companies who have come onto Sanas.
Yep.
They're outsourcing to India for the very first time in their lives.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And these are like Fortune 100 companies who are now making it a mandate that, hey, you move to India with Sanas. Let's bring in clarity in communications. And let's take care of our people.
I love that. That's amazing. Sharath, a couple questions. So, like, we know why you and Sanas are here at Customer Contact Week. You're in this, the center of the universe today, this week anyway, as far as the world of CX goes. But I guess, is there anything that's been surprising to you? Or I know that when me and you were getting ready to jump into today's recording, but like, is there anything that's been either jarring or kind of that you've been surprised by? Is there anything big in the AI space or something yammering that we're hearing out there in the hallway about AI that maybe you're hearing that you thought was going to be different? Or is there anything that, like, what are like one of the two big things that you're kind of coming away from these last couple of days that you're hearing from the folks that are out there that maybe was surprising to you and that you weren't expecting to hear inside of these halls at CCW this week?
No, I think one first surprising thing for me is I've been to now CCW. This is my 7th year in a row.
Okay. So you're a regular at around these halls.
I keep telling Mario that I need to have my name on the plaque.
You should. You might have to be up for one of the awards soon.
So, but I think two surprising things for me was, one, I saw a lot more execs in this event, like CEOs of either large enterprises or large contact centers. Actually spend 2 days here.
Interesting.
Because for them, they've been hearing a lot of noise around AI.
Totally.
So they're like, hey, how real is this?
Yeah,
how
what is this stuff?
Right?
Yep.
So that was a welcome change.
Yep.
And the second thing is, I think a lot of startups I see today who've been exhibiting, like there are 400 plus exhibitors.
Yep.
There's that certain level of sophistication that I saw this year that I've not seen before.
That's
People
awesome.
are coming out with very, very complete products.
Yep.
And I think, selling technology to contact centers, especially technologies like AI, is not very old. Like last year, when I saw a lot of companies, their products looked very uncooked, very unfinished. They didn't know how to do the positioning for BPOs.
Yeah, right.
I think now, for the last 1 year, I think people have become smarter.
No kidding.
Like I think every booth I go to, they talk about CSAT, AHT, first contact resolutions, and so they're talking that language. So I think now people are building products very focused on CX.
That's awesome.
So that was very refreshing to see.
Well, I think you got a couple things. It's like our space is just moving forward so quickly. Call it what it is. I think the second thing too is every single one of us has been hearing about and listening to and trying to learn as quickly as we can about all things AI and all things, machine learning. And the reality is that, like, the way that I kind of say it, kind of dumb it down on the CXC podcast anyway, is like, the way that I think about it is this: there's going to be 20% of humans that at least get comfortable with understanding, learning, at least at a minimum, at a high level, how it can help them, how it can reshape their personal day-to-day, their team's day-to-day, their business's day-to-day. And then just like anything else in life, guys, we're going to have certain teammates on our team that understand it at a much more granular, sophisticated level. But the fact that you're going to have some of these leaders that are here and investing the time, the energy to go learn, or to your point, you're literally seeing the market become a bit more sophisticated in a short period of time, that kind of shows you that we're probably here amongst the 20% of people that they've already grabbed the bull by the horns. They're going to figure it out. I'm not saying that we're all going to leave Customer Contact Week AI experts or being able to go build the next AI unicorn, but the bottom line is we are learning about it. We're figuring out all these different ways that it can impact us, our teams, and our customers. And I think that's awesome.
No, I think one of the welcome change that I'm seeing with AI inflection in general is when cloud came in, people were not ready to accept that things will move to the cloud. They still wanted to hang on to their on-premise environments where they've invested billions of dollars. But when it comes to AI, people are welcoming this. They're embracing it. They know it's here. Almost every enterprise we're selling to are setting up AI councils. They're setting up governance around AI. So they're embracing AI or this new technology innovation wave much better than anything else they've embraced so far. So that's a huge change.
Totally agree.
People have now accepted that, hey, this will be a part of our lives. It'll make our lives better. Yes, there'll be some level of automation that will come in. It will never replace the actual humane aspect of this industry. But it'll make all of us better. So there's a lot of augmentation that will happen in the next 3 years. And then potentially some levels of automation. But hey, when Uber came in, people thought it'll kill the taxi industry. But it actually grew the taxi industry by 10 times.
Made it stronger.
Right? That's fundamentally what I believe what AI will do to the CX space. It'll expand the space much beyond what all of us imagine. So folks, don't fear it, embrace it.
Get ready for it. So this is fantastic. So first of all, thank you so much for coming on and popping in and chatting with us. But before I let you go, can you spend like the last minute or two just talking a little bit about, number one, where can our listeners connect with you and your team? Where can people find out more about Sanas? And then just any parting wisdom for any of our CXers that are listening to today's show around just maybe the one thing that with Observe.AI, now with Sonos, and then with some of these past businesses you worked at, just to remain open about it, like one golden nugget of wisdom that you want to leave them with?
No, absolutely. I think this event has been extremely impactful in general, right? I think what I'm seeing across the board, this events like CCW are probably the best showcase for all leaders to come in and all AI companies to come together to showcase what's going on.
Yep.
I've seen more product launches, even from the largest companies like Microsoft
Yep.
to some of the smallest startups here
Yeah,
in
true.
this event.
It's true.
So
You're
this
right
is
on the
almost
floor.
becoming the marquee
100%.
CX event
Yeah.
to watch out for.
Yep.
And I think what I would definitely leave this event with is, I think the overall adoption of AI will grow so quickly in the next 12 months.
Yep.
So I think everybody needs to essentially start adapting every single function of their company to be doing it better with technology.
Totally.
Right? I think
Yeah.
that's probably one thing that I would leave you with. And I think
I love it.
some of these products and some of these founders are so incredibly smart, man.
Yeah.
And I think technology today has made it possible for a lot of these guys to become entrepreneurs and build very sophisticated tools at a fraction of the cost
Yeah, totally.
than what it was. And I'm just super pumped about where this will all take us.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love all the ideas. Thank you again for joining us. And before I let you go, where can people find? Where can people get in touch with you?
Sanas is here at booth 133.
Okay.
We just announced noise cancellation free forever
Nice.
for everyone in this
Nice.
contact center industry. This is our way to thank everyone for giving us or making us what we are today.
Yep.
We are at booth 133. We just launched a brand new website, www.sanas.ai. Please check it out. And there's an interesting feature on the website. If you want to test the product, you can actually record yourself and see how it actually changes your accent.
I like that. We'll be trying that later, folks. Don't you worry.
Do that. But again, both of you, thank you so much for the opportunity. You guys are building something incredible.
Thank you so much.
And I think
appreciate
it's people like you who make technology much better understood to people. You're simplifying technology, you're demystifying AI, and you need a lot more people to demystify this.
I promise you, I'm the dumbest man in the room. I just hear things and I can feel where they're going, and then I try to simplify them. And then you're right, where this stuff needs to get demystified. This stuff is here to help all of us. It's literally going to push our world into the future, and this is going to be what tomorrow's leading businesses are focused on. And this is going to be how we continue to build incredible customer and employee experiences into the future. So thank you so much for joining us, though.
And we say namaste.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.